Hello, everyone. My name is Darlene Vandergriff, and I'm here to speak with you today about connecting to our multidimensional selves. I want to give a shout out to Sheila and her team first for having us on today and having this amazing work that she has done through this past few years in bringing us together. I am a medical intuitive, which also includes being a teacher, an author, an artist. I'm an applied kinesiologist, a certified imago counselor, a nutritional counselor, and I also work with matrix energetics. Aside from that and everything that I have been up to this point, I'm here to speak about my work and my integration with and relationships with multidimensional beings for over 35 years. That integration process contains the Council of 12, which emerged through 25 years or 30 years into the Council of 28. And then in the last several months, they evolved into one consciousness and one voice that includes many multidimensionals, many factions, ambassadors, and members of the Galactic Federation. They will be known in this time moving forward in this particular expansion and evolution as the evolutionists, or they call themselves the evolves. The Council of 28 was made up of 28 various species with individual timelines, individual histories. They are just like us. That is one thing that you need to know in your communication and your understanding of multidimensionalities, is that these beings are much like us because they are us, whether that's in the past or the future. They have families, they have emotions, they have purpose, they have hardships, losses, wins, and missions. So they are extremely human in the way that they live their lives, even if they don't look like us. So it's important to know that to push our fears aside, if you've been asking for connection, if you've been meditating and asking for connection for your multidimensional beings to come in, you just need to know that they may not look exactly like us or human at all. And they cannot exist in that field of fear. So if you're asking for connection, if you're asking for a visitation, they can be two different things. Asking for one and getting it can be something entirely different for you. So whether it's in your mind's eye or literal, when the visitation comes, it's most important that if they don't look like us, if they don't look like you, if it's a little alarming for you, is to try your best to stay present, to breathe, to find a place of neutrality, and stay out of the fear-based concepts that we've been taught. I would also encourage you that if you feel like you have fear-based concepts of ETs, multidimensional spirit beings, your guidance system, if you have fear-based issues with that or beliefs about that, is to take a look at it before you even ask for visitation so that you can clear those timelines and clear those confining beliefs. It may be also your advantage that in doing so, it will open your heart. It will open your heart and you'll be in a more neutral place. I can't tell you how many clients have asked for visitation, including my mother, who asked for months of visitation. And when she finally got it, there was such a terror for her in that they finally arrived. And she had that not in mind's eye, but she had that visitation in person. So staying focused, staying clear, asking, what you want from them, being in that space of both clarity and neutrality will open you up to having more connection, open you up to having more conversation. Okay. And if you've already had a connection, if you had a visitation, if you had something that happened in the middle of the night in a dream state, and they left because you broke the connection, just know that they are looking for connection with us. This is not something that they're just going to say, oh, we won't come back to them. They will, but it has to come from a heartfelt place of you wanting connection and you appreciating the fact that they are doing their best to come into our lives with a connection. When I was talking about the fact that they all look different, when I was working with the Council of 28. I'm like 5 years into it. And before I brought them on the road, so to speak, I brought them into groups for people to see them because they were so varied in their appearance. They had asked me to paint a painting of them individually, and I did. If you're interested in that, if you're interested to see who the Council of 28 is, there is a YouTube that you can contact me on soulunion.com, and I would be happy to share it with you. So in the final piece of relieving your fear level, just know that you cannot attract what is not yours. You cannot open yourself up. There's got to be a truth. There's got to be an element. There's got to be a thread in some piece of you that connects to what you're attracting. And that includes your multidimensional beings. Those beings that are part of you, in essence, come to you because there is a thread. If there's no thread, you're not going to attract it. So I believe that channelers and mediators, as myself, they will develop a relationship. They develop an integration over time with their particular being or their collective. And my first introduction to a multidimensional being was Elie Wiesar. He emerged as an internal voice. Interesting enough, he emerged as an internal voice when I was listening to the recording that my mother had when she felt that she was abducted. And that was in a class where I was asked to listen to it in my own time, because I was not part of that class. So in that space of listening to that, there was that voice that rose up. And it was like, we did not do that. I did not do that, because she was in terror. In that process of listening to that and having that voice come up, what I found and started channeling was Elie Wiesar. Elie Wiesar is from Meldak. In that time that synchronicity in my life, I had met a group of people that were clients, and they were from upstate New York, and I was from Pennsylvania at the time. And they were part of his crew. They were part, and some of them were his family. And he was coming in to heal that timeline for himself. So that was his first emergence, is coming in so that he could heal that timeline. Elie Wiesar is a reptilian, and he's a defector, and he's a refugee from the reptilian species. So that was both a surprise to me and a gift, because he offered so much more for me in my healing and my healing abilities. So I channeled him until his mission was completed, which took a few years. And during that time, he introduced me to the Council of 12, which is actually really 9 members, 9 individual members. And there was 3 seats that were left open for visitation. We worked in a council room that is a cosmic facility for teaching. And so there was 3 seats that were always left open in case there was a visitation from somebody that was not on the council, that they could come and they could speak. When Ellie's mission was completed, I decided to not channel. I felt like I let his energy in as an integration process, knowing that he was part of me, but the other council members, many of them were not me, and I chose not to do that. I wanted to be more present. I wanted to be more participating in what was happening. And so I chose not to channel him. And I became a mediator in that council. And I continue today to both be a mediator and a translator for many multidimensional beings. But Ellie's experience opened the doors for me to have more abilities for connection. You know, when they come in, when your multidimensional being comes in, there is a part that they will have gifts. They were going to have wisdom. They're going to have talents. They're going to have something that you created in that lifetime about who you are that they can share. So you not only get an experience of life in a different way through their eyes, but you also can see how they see humanity, which is might be very different for each of the multidimensionals, as I have found with 28 of them. So as humans, we're considered an access point for these multidimensionals. Our past and our future is one. And it's up for us to, in our desire, and our willingness and our curiosity and our love for our planet and for humanity to shift our frequencies on all levels so that we can become the best access point that we can be. In my first 25 years of working with them and understanding them, what that was about for me was releasing old patterns, old faulty beliefs. It extracted me from relationships that no longer served me, and it moved me from Pennsylvania to upstate New York. And that brought me into a deeper understanding of in my intuition, being able to read energy through my hands, receiving and sending energy, both personally and in my career, was part of what happened in that 25 years with the first Council of 12. Then when I met the Council of 28, which merged into that, that was the first 5 years. It was an ongoing journey, sometimes months at a time, nightly, where they wanted me to write. So for 4.5 years, maybe 5 years, I wrote consistently about what they were offering me. This was a deep dive into exploring my past timelines and Earth's timelines that influenced humanity's evolution. So their integration, their connection with me allowed me to expand. It allowed me to expand my consciousness, my energy field. It gave me comfort and assurance in my own personal life and in my career, because they worked with many of the individuals that they still work with today. They come and go. And also in my work, I connect with your multidimensional so that you can have a different experience of who you are. This also holds true for bringing forward in dimensions, that when you are walking into a dimensional world, it can pull you into your past lives. Most likely it will. Unfinished business. You know, what is it, the timelines that needed to be released or healed or integrated so that you can evolve in a more fuller way, so that you can participate in what Earth is going through right now to be the person that you need to be to complete the mission that you might have taken on before you got here. Our karmic lessons are repeated over and over again, and that's what we're in right now. We are in these karmic lessons so that we can, and they're bubbling forward on the planet as we speak, okay? What they are asking us is to accept and allow all that we are and all that we have been. So our perceptions, our beliefs are a stronghold for all of our choices that we make in this lifetime. And by looking at what you believe and where those beliefs came from, where did they stem from? Are they yours? Do they serve you or don't they? It's a core of what the Evolve's mission has been and it is to clear humanity of our unfinished business in all these lifetimes that we have accumulated. They also call this the time of the Great Divide. It's a time that's been foretold about Earth in this time, in this calamity or this chaos that we are feeling right now. It is also the karmic loop that keeps us trapped and overloaded with unfinished business that has been part of our history. Our choices that we've made to reincarnate, to make restitution for the things that we have done or have been done to us, in the harm that we've created, in the ill wishes that we created towards others, it's insurmountable now in how much we have to deal with and where that's coming from, because our population has increased and they know that. And for them to help us is actually helping them. So our accountability through these many generations has fallen short in what is unfinished and what is surfacing. And we are now in a period of the Great Divide where these emotions that are bubbling up that we see on a daily basis in our news and media are ramping up. They're ramping up in this period so that we can handle them, that we can rectify them, that we can assure ourselves that we are free from the past beliefs. What they want to do for us is to share, the multidimensionals, they want to share with us their energy, their gifts, and their wisdoms. They cannot interfere with us. They cannot intervene. And so when we invite them, they are not then seen as rebelling against the law of non-interference. So we're inviting them in to participate. They are not interfering with us. They are not intruding on us. Okay. I see that as a loophole. I see it as a loophole in the cosmic order of things, that it's a loophole and it's a gift for the universe so that we can have a better outcome for humanity in the path that we're in. So how do we begin with multidimensionals? We begin by creating a space of availability without judgment, without blockages, without negativity. And that's where looking at our beliefs come in of is there any negativity? Is there any blockages that we have about anything? Because it will disturb our energy field. It will disturb our chakras. It embeds in, and then we can go into fear more readily. So early in my work with the Council of 12, I was given the 7 seeds. Those 7 seeds are acceptance, allowance, trust or commitment, trust, truth, co-creativity, and integrity. These principles, these 7 principles, have become a way of life for me, and it's what I teach others and how I work with clients, okay? And what it does is it gives us a higher consciousness for connection. So being conscious means that it elicits an interest, a curiosity, an excitement in all that we are. And it frees us from the programming that we've had, that this is our reality, this is our truth, that we don't have a choice in creating our reality, that we are stuck with what we are in right at this moment. So in order to do so, accepting what we know to be the truth may not be all there is. In fact, I can guarantee you it is not all that there is. So we want to explore those questions. We want to ask questions. We want to see where we believe in, and use that ability, use our thinking ability, our critical thinking ability, our discernment to say, what is it about the reality that we are living in that doesn't suit me? You know, what is it? What is your heart resonating with? What do you know to be your truth, not someone else's truth? And when you do so, watch what happens. Synchronicity in your life is going to increase. You're going to have more questions. You're going to blend and expand and want more knowing. And when you do that, then the law of attraction kicks in along with the synchronicity. And that's what shows up for us, what resonates with us the most, what resonates with our new thoughts and beliefs. And in doing so, that allows us to emerge more into a multidimensional dimension. So it is through that our frequency and our vibration that all this begins to shift. As we become more aware, as we are allowing and accepting, we can move into the flow of consciousness. We have a knowledge of our own truth, and it becomes more obvious because it shows up in our lives. Our dreams, our lucid dreams, our gut feelings, our telepathy, our innate wisdom all expands at that point. It expands into places and guides us through into our commitment. And our commitment is to who we are and what we know and what we are becoming. It is not a commitment to anyone else or anything else. It's a commitment to our sovereignty, to be more multidimensional, to be more of everything that we know that we can be. So even if you don't know personally, you know, who you are or where you're going or your choices in the future, the commitment is about you're committed to doing whatever it takes to have you in a more full position, to be a more full human, to experience all in life that you need to experience to get to where you want to get to when you take your last breath. So without that commitment, multidimensionals cannot assist in our evolution. It opens up our channels. You know, it opens up our wants and our needs and our desires to them, for them to join with us, for them to participate in our life more fully. So trust, the next one as a seed, is a substantial issue for humanity. We have been lied to for centuries about who we are and where we've come from. We've experienced that what it is to not trust in our governments and our authority figures. And this is the time period that this is designed to do that. What is it designed to do? To wake us up, to question what has been created, and to discern the truth from lies. So encouraging yourself to reach out, reach in and reach out for the trust that you have in who you are. That is a core issue with humanity as well. We've been robbed of trusting ourselves because we handed over our authority, our sovereignty to those who gladly took it. And they took it. Why? Because they wanted power over us. They wanted power over all beings. It's not just humanity. There are beings out there that want power, and we've handed it over to them. So opening our hearts to allow and to trust and to embrace in our commitment, then we are becoming more multidimensional. Our commitment opens the doors for them to assist us, but trusting puts out our hand for their assistance. And that's what's needed. They need to know that we're on board, that we're committed, that we are aligned, that we want more for ourselves. Truth is a reality in the next 7 seeds that has many shades. It's our perceptions, it's our beliefs, it's our social constructs, religion, culture, all plays a part in what our reality is, but is it our truth? That's where our heart-based resonance is most important. What is our heart-based truth? And something that needs to be acknowledged every day, in every moment. Every decision that you make is what is your heart saying about that decision. We are seen not only as access points, but we are seen as spiritually evolved light forces to the multidimensional self, because we search for truth every day. We are made to search for truth every day, and it brings us one step closer to our consciousness and our integrity. When we feel, when we resonate, when we embrace our truth, I'll tell you, the doors and the floodgates will open for the multidimensionals to come in, because we are embracing all that we are. And speaking our truth assures us that we are indeed aligned and choosing with ascension. Ascension exists on all dimensions. It is not a destination. It is not a place that you go and you say, oh, I have ascended. It is a place of continual evolution. All the beings that I have worked with through the many years have gone through evolution, including the Council of 12 that went to the Council of 28 that are now called the evolves. So when multidimensionals become more available, what happens with them is they want to co-create. That is the 6th of the 7 seeds, is they want to co-create with us, because that is the most valuable thing that they can do. In that process of co-creation, we are connected energetically, we are connected emotionally, and we are connected physically, so that they can collaborate, they can promote, they can reside with us, because by that time we have developed a relationship with them. So on this journey through the process of 7 seeds, you are creating a new integrity, a new vibration in this co-creative process. So when in that vibration, that new vibration, it's like a new personality. It's a new part of you. It's a new way that you resonate. It's a new way that you carry through your life. It's how you relate to people. It's how you speak and what you believe and what you know. And when you accept all of that, the allowance, the commitment, the trust, and you're moving into that possibility of working with multidimensionals, the fact is that we are all one, and they will help us to expand. They have a vision of the new earth. It's a place that many reside with their multidimensional selves in a co-creative process to make a better future for humanity by knowing the truth of who we are, who we were, and who we are becoming. It's a place of acceptance and allowance where we are committed to a brighter future, and that we hold our own truth and trust ourselves as well as others to stay true to the commitment of becoming all that we are. So the evolution of humanity, what we need to understand is this evolution of humanity is happening now. It's how we want to participate in it, not if we participate in it. So when I work with them, when I speak with them, their consistent message for us is that they honor our choice of coming to Earth, our choice to seed Earth, our choice to be present in this time of the Great Divide. They know our sacrifices that we made in doing that. We may not know them, but they know them, and they know the hardships and the chaos that we are experiencing in this time period. But remember, maintaining neutrality, having a neutral state in a place of conflicts or conflict or confrontation, that it assures a more positive outcome. When you meet opposition with something that isn't inflammatory, when you meet it with a place of security and neutrality, it is not a place of not action. Neutrality is not about not taking an action. It's just void of the emotions that contribute to either drama and trauma. A stand of neutrality is a place that takes a lot of practice. It's clearing old patterns. It's clearing your old beliefs. Life becomes much easier when you clear what has made you today that no longer serves you. So for some people, that fight, that conflict is what is desired. They like to push against it. Okay. But if you stand up and align with your truth, and that fight will lose its power. And neutrality will find that is found in the heart surpasses the attempt to engage the mind in conflict. The evolved stand firm in their heart and mind conviction that we can hold steady in this moment of chaos. They've seen it through species and other similar circumstances, and even in their own evolution, that the chaos precedes the calm in any creative process. And I know that as an artist, that the elements of the unfinished project, before they're exposed, there can be chaos, there can be disarray, there can be sometimes even devastation before that final outcome is revealed. Their one statement continually through the book is all in universal time, and that is what they follow. So they're offering our services today to assist in a way that promotes a timely outcome to keep humanity intact. I appreciate my time with you. I want to explain that journey of the 28 members that we spoke about earlier is now a book series that's entitled Multidimensional Chronicles, Expansion from Within. Book 1 should be released in the late spring of 2023. And what that's about is their timelines, their integration process, their understanding of humanity and the evolution that humanity has gone through and what Earth has gone through, so that you can see and witness not only in their eyes, but also as the reader. You can contact me on soulunion@soulunion.com. I also have a podcast with my colleague, Melissa Waterman, and I run a cosmic traveler group that meets every month, the third Sunday of the month, where we work with these evolves in what is the white space now, not the council room, and we heal ourselves and the planet. So I thank you for joining me today, and remember to be well, and remember that you know more than you know.